massive Grande lava lamp that you're trying to restore? If so, you've come to the right place. If you're just looking for satisfying lava lamp content, you've also come to the right place. If you're trying to restore a normal size lava lamp, you have actually come to the wrong place. Go watch this video instead. Anyway, today we are going to be going through the complete process for restoring your Grande lava lamp. Everything from uncapping and opening the lamp, where to get your supplies, which by the way, this video is brought to you by Lava Lamp Creations, our friends that we use for all of our lava lamp supplies on this channel, and we will be talking about them more very soon. Show you how to replace the wax, how to adjust the flow, how to get it just how you want it, and then how to reseal the whole thing so that you can cap it back up and use it anywhere in your house. If you also love lava lamps, then grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it. Starting out with the supplies you need, again, I got all of my supplies from Lava Lamp Creations specifically. If you go to their wax blends and chemicals, make sure that you specifically grab the Grande size lava lamp restoration kit. Believe it or not, different size lava lamps actually require different types of wax blends, so if you buy the wrong kit, you will not get the desired results. I often get comments about the kits being out of stock, and do note that Lava Lamp Creations is a small business, so if you don't see it in stock today, check back in a few days and they likely will be restocked soon. This is everything that comes included with the Grande kit. You get your wax, your dyes, your surfactant, globe cleaner, a funnel, a pipette, and some instructions. Some supplies not included in the kit that you will need are a measuring cup, and honestly, if you can find 1,000 milliliters, that's even better. The largest pot that you can find, a thrift store is a great place to source one of these. Some kind of heat-resistant glove. You could in theory use oven mitts, but I really like these gloves with the little plastic grippers on them. A small little jewelry hammer is optional, but you'll see where it comes into play when we go to reseal the lamp. Flathead screwdriver to get the lamp open. Again, optional, but a utility knife can also come in handy for this step. The largest and longest bottle cleaning brush that you can find. This one is probably not ideal. Some 1/2 inch plastic tubing that we'll use with our funnel later on when we're refilling the lamp. And finally, a pot holder or towel of your choosing. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you probably already have a Grande lamp that you're hoping to work on. It'll be interesting to see how this video ages over time, but at this exact moment, it's actually somewhat difficult to find Grande lava lamps for sale. Which is funny because just a few months ago, you used to be able to easily buy them on Walmart for like $130. If your lava lamp is currently on, unplug it and let it cool down completely, because from here, we're going to get into uncapping. Ultimately, you just need something to pry it open, but we'll go through the optional tools as well. Starting out with a utility knife, this can be good for getting the party started and just crimping up that first piece. Good flathead screwdriver will be your best friend here. However, if yours are too thick, I've recently been using these metal spatulas, and these are actually super handy and get under there really well. Finally, if you misshape your cap while you're removing it, a small jewelry hammer like this one can be really helpful to reshape it. I'm sure you could use other tools to get similar results. If you're impatient like me, it may be really tempting to just go in there with some pliers, but these can easily tear it, so I wouldn't recommend using these on the cap. You can either do this process while it's on the base still, just make sure that you give a really good grip on it so that it doesn't tip over. Or if you find it more comfortable, you can just take the globe off and work from here. Instead of trying to forcefully pry it up all at once, you're slowly going to go around a couple times, ever so slightly lifting up the edges. The glass on these globes are pretty strong, but also be mindful not to apply too much pressure to it and cause damage. Once it was lifted about 75% of the way around, I probably could have pulled it off at this point, but I finished uncrimping all the sides so that it was going to be easier to put back on later. Do use some caution as you actually go to lift up the lamp, as the edges are pretty sharp. And then depending on the age of your lamp, it may or may not have one of these rubber stoppers on the inside. The older they are, they can become more prone to cracking, but if you do end up damaging yours, you can also get replacements from our friends over at Lava Lamp Creations. From here, it's time to empty out the innards of our lava lamp. In theory, you could just dispose of this liquid, but I do so many restorations that I always like to save it for future projects. From here, you'll just be left with the wax inside of the globe. Now, it may be super tempting to throw it back on the base and just turn the light bulb on to heat up the wax, but don't do this. Without the fluid in there, it increases the chance of having thermal shock, and it can actually fracture the globe. Instead, this is where your big pot comes into play. You're going to place the lava lamp in there, fill it up with water, and slowly boil it. Be patient. The Grandes have a lot of wax, and this will take quite a bit of time. Once your wax is fully melted, you can again either dispose of this, or in my case, you know I am going to be hoarding it away for the future. Do make note of the fact that the Grandes have 2 springs inside of them, and you'll want to pull those out at this point as well. I use a long pair of forceps to snatch them out of there, but you could probably just use your fingers. My springs are fine in this case, but if yours are lost or damaged, this is another item that you can pick up at Lava Lamp Creations. The nice thing about these coils is they don't rust, and additionally, they don't come apart, which is a problem I've had on a lot of my smaller lamps. They're also not wound as tight, which means the wax doesn't get get stuck in them as easily, so overall a nice little upgrade. From here we will begin my least favorite part of every restoration, which is cleaning the globe. Depending on how effectively you got the wax out of the globe on the last step will depend on how many cycles of this you have to do, but realistically I find myself doing 3 or 4 rounds of cleaning every time to get the desired results. I add a fair amount of globe cleaner each time and then just a little bit of hot water. It's also worth pointing out throughout this entire process to keep your globe on top of a pot holder or a towel, especially right after you pull the globe out of the hot pot. The cold countertops can cause thermal shock and again lead to cracking. Note that I am also wearing my heat resistant gloves because, as you could imagine, the globe is hot. But basically I just go back and forth between using my scrub brush, swirling around the hot water, emptying it out, and repeating these cycles. Once you have a clean globe, you're going to start preparing your new wax. Be 100% sure that you remove the lid from your container and then you're going to put the whole wax container into the hot water. Although it may be tempting, do not put your wax in the microwave as it will separate, and furthermore, be sure that your entire container of wax is fully melted before you move on to the next step. For our Grande lamp specifically, we'll need 940 milliliters of wax, which I did not realize is actually just the whole bottle. And unfortunately, in my case, the largest measuring cup I have only goes up to 500 milliliters, so we're going to have to do this in 2 different batches. I want my wax to be green, so I'm going to be mixing together the yellow and the blue wax dye. Your wax should still be warm enough at this point to melt the dye into it evenly. However, if it's not, you can always throw your measuring cup back into the hot pot of water. Typically at this point, I would hold my measuring cup up to the sunlight to make sure that I got the desired color, but as you can see, it's nighttime, so I'm just going to hope for the best. Now, before we add the wax back into the globe, there's one more important step you can't miss, and that is coating the globe with surfactant specifically, not magic surf. By coating the inside of the globe with surfactant, it's going to prevent the wax from sticking to the sides of the lava lamp. One small but critical mistake I made here was forgetting to add a cap full of distilled water to dilute this. But don't worry, we'll use this as an opportunity to fix our cloudy lamp later. At this point, we are finally ready to add our wax, and in full transparency, I did make a little bit of a mistake in this part of the process. As you can see, my funnel does not come all the way down to the bottom of the globe. It wasn't until my wax was already fully melted that I forgot I didn't have a drop straw for this funnel specifically. But if you get 1/2 inch plastic tubing, you can stick it onto the bottom of the funnel to make something that looks like my college days. And this will make sure that the wax gets to the bottom of the globe without splattering. With that being said, it will still work if you just have the normal funnel. Even after having done many restorations, it's still easy to forget steps. But even if you do, just know almost everything is fixable. From here, I quickly mixed up my second batch of wax to get us to the full 940 milliliters, and then added that wax to the globe as well. From here, don't forget to add your coils back into the lamp while the wax is still liquid. And finally, you're going to put the lamp with the wax inside of it back into your boiling pot of water one more time to boil out all of the air bubbles. After about 30 to 60 minutes, you can take your globe out of the pot to cool, but whatever you do, do not add the water while the wax is still in liquid form. Let the wax cool completely solid, which will realistically take a couple hours, and then you can add your distilled water. Especially with the Grande lamps being so big, it may be tempting to use tap water, but trust me, use the distilled water, it makes a difference. One other rookie mistake I made on this lamp was I overfilled it. As the lamp heats up, the fluid inside will expand, and you're going to want to leave about 2 inches more than I did here. I had a pretty close call with this lamp almost overflowing, but luckily I caught it in time and pulled out some of that extra fluid. From here, just place your cap on top, but don't seal it yet. This is where the fun part comes in, and we get to adjust the flow of the lava lamp with surfactant. Again, for this step, make sure that you are using surfactant and not magic surf. Note that these videos are sped up to help demonstrate the differences without this video being 20 minutes long. I'll only be adding to the globe on the left and using the globe on our right side as our control that we're trying to get to. In each video, I'll be increasing the surfactant by 5 milliliters demonstrated on the screen. And for a Grande lamp, you're going to want to achieve a maximum of 55 to 60 milliliters of surfactant. You may also note throughout the course of this video that it keeps flipping back and forth between the daytime and the nighttime, and that's because you want to leave at least 30 minutes between each dose of surfactant that you add so that it can fully saturate into the wax. Now, while I did go all the way up to 55 milliliters of surf for demonstration purposes in this video, had I just been adjusting this lamp to my own preferences, I probably could have stopped quite a bit sooner, because as I look back at these videos, there's quite a few points that I'm actually really happy with how it was looking. One other elephant in the room that I should address before somebody comments it: yes, I know that the fluid is a little bit cloudy. Yes, I will be filtering it now that this video is complete. I just didn't want to filter it midway through and mess up any of the experiment that we had going on. Now at this point, even though we're at our maximum volume of surf, you may notice that we're still not getting quite as many snakes as you are seeing on the right side. And that is where Magic Surf comes in. It's kind of the finishing touch here if you like that flowy snake look. Keep in mind that you're only going to want to add Magic Surf once you're totally happy with the flow that you've already achieved with the normal surfactant. Additionally, you're only going to add 2 to 4 milliliters for a Grande lamp specifically. Here's how our lamp is looking with 2 milliliters of Magic Surf, and again, we probably could have stopped here, but for experiment purposes, we will go all the way to 4. And here's what our flow looks like at 4 milliliters of Magic Surf. But coming back to the fact that this lava lamp is cloudy. Remember earlier when we were coating the globe and I forgot the distilled water and said we'd have to do an additional step? Well, this is that step. If your lava lamp is not cloudy, then you're a lucky duck and you can skip this step. Or in theory, you could keep watching because chances are if you have a Grande lamp, you probably have other lamps, and I bet that this step will come in handy in the future. To fix it, dump out all the liquid, and then you're going to get a life straw and attach it to a plastic bottle. From here, you will painstakingly wait to filter all of the water through this funnel, which in my case took a couple of hours. The good news is this filter will not pull out your surfactant or any dye if you added it. It's just going to leave you with crystal clear water and a beautiful lava lamp. In this side-by-side, you can see the filtered lamp on the left and the unfiltered on the right, and it definitely makes a huge difference. And once you're happy with the final results of the flow and appearance of your lamp, we can get into capping. My cap retained its shape pretty well. If yours is looking wonky at removing, this is when you can go in with your jewelry hammer and really smooth things back out. If you're using the existing rubber stopper, they typically pop back in pretty easily. However, if you're using the replacement cap, it can be difficult to push back down. You're actually going to take something like a zip tie or a wire and stick it down the side of the lamp to allow some air to escape. This will make pushing the cap down easier, and then when you're done, you just pull that zip tie right out. Also, make sure that you do this when the lamp is off, otherwise the heat could suck the cap inside. Fortunately, I don't have a third arm to show you both these motions at once, but you're going to simultaneously want to press down on the cap while also folding the edges back in with your screwdriver or jewelry hammer. You can also use a hose clamp. I just don't have a large enough one for this specific lamp, but I have a full video on how to do this method if you're curious. Finally, you could stop here, but the seal is rarely as good as it is from the factory. To help with this, you'll want to use some heat shrink, which you can get pre-cut from Lava Lab Creations. Hold on to the heat shrink from the back so that it doesn't blow off, being careful not to burn your fingers, and use a heat gun to tightly seal it onto the top of your lamp. Once you have a good seal, you're ready to put your cap back on, and now it's time to run your Grande lava lamp. Hopefully today I was able to answer all of your burning lava questions, no pun intended. However, if you still have questions that need answers, drop a comment down below or go jump over on Cameo and I can give you a much more detailed response. Again, thank you to our friends over at Lava Lab Creations, and thank you to you for sticking around until the end.